Today, I'm going to try to shed some light on at least how I, um, go through the process of selecting which exclusive listings I want to take, making sure that I get the exclusive listing, and pressing for a little bit more commission than our standard 5%. Um, let's just go straight to the third page. Okay, so what I've kind of found, especially as a foreigner doing real estate, we get a lot of foreign clients, but we also do business with locals and Latin people, of course. But um, what we find is that a lot of people, if they're local people, they don't. I mean, they just don't think to list exclusively. And if they're foreigners, it's usually somebody has told them that you don't want to list exclusively in Panama. So it becomes our job to find out why, first of all, from the client, and second of all, to be able to overcome that objection or to be able to educate your client um, that it's just not that way. I mean, it's not to your advantage to try to list with 6 or 10 real estate companies and hope that you're getting the best service from any one of those agents. It's kind of insane thinking. So um, basically, I guess I'll just kind of go through the process that I use with educating my clients, and how by the end of sitting with them for 15 minutes, I can have them convinced to not only list exclusively if they're priced right. And, you don't want to take them all exclusively if somebody's expectations are too high, but and then how I can walk out with an agreement signed at 7.5% instead of 5%. So the first thing I do with these people is I try to explain to them why the notion in Panama exists that you should list with more than one agent. And in doing so, I kind of tell them that, maybe at one point in Panama, when not everybody had a computer and an internet connection, it was a little bit beneficial to kind of spread your fingers out and get into as many agents' offices as possible. But today we have the internet and we have something called Google, and we have almost 100% of real estate buyers that will sit on the internet for hours and if not days looking for real estate themselves before they even contact a real estate agent. So we've got educated buyers out there. By the time they enter our office, a lot of the time they know, what's going on out there. So we don't have to, our clients, our sellers don't have to go through the headache and the pain of calling 7 different offices and negotiating 7 different contracts. And it's 2018. Then I go into the accountability. Like if you've got 7 different real estate companies listing your property, how do you stay in touch with all 7? I mean, it becomes a large task for the seller if all 7 of these companies, who really don't feel any exclusive obligation to the seller, like on my exclusive listings, I'm not going to go through all 350 of them and call each of those clients each week and give them an update on what's going on with their listing. So, when somebody lists exclusively with me, they have my full attention. I'm fully accountable to them. I explain to them that I'll hold the key for them, that they don't have to worry about their TV walking away. The water and the lights and the air conditioners will be turned off when I leave. If I have a client that I'm driving around the city that has told me I have a budget of 400,000, We go and look at a bunch of $400,000 properties, and the client in the middle of the day says, you know what, I'm not seeing what I like. I think we should pop up to 500,000. I have that key in my car to your $500,000 property. I don't have to drop the client off at home. I don't have to risk that I don't see that client, that buying client tomorrow, and I can easily show the property. I have access to that property instantaneously, and that's important because how many times have you been with a client, a buying client, that just suddenly changes direction on you, and you have to change your path. So to have that key and to have exclusivity on that listing, it's important. It makes it easier to show and easier to sell. It's bad business for me as a real estate agent to take a listing that is non-exclusive and invest any amount of time or energy or money, more than just putting it on my website and maybe in Encuentra 24. And when that seller lists with 7 different agents, every single one of those agents is an entrepreneur. Every single one of those agents is a business person, and none of them want to make a bad investment. None of them want to throw $5,000 in marketing at a listing that he only has a 1 in 7 chance of selling. It's kind of like, I'll explain it to like this to a lot of my clients. Like, if I invest in the stock market, I 100% expect that stock to go up in direction, and I 100% expect at the end of the day to take a profit. But when a client comes to me and says, I'm going to list with you and 10 other agencies, I have a 1 in 10 chance of profiting. That means 9 times out of 10, I've just made a really, really, really bad investment. And that what sense does it make? Why would I invest my time or my money in that listing to actively go out and in creative ways find a way to sell your property when you're not going to give me the loyalty and the 100% guarantee that I'm going to make a profit on that investment? Right? So it's about getting real with people sometimes and just telling them, the reason you've been unsuccessful in selling your condo or your property for a year listing with 10 agents is because none of them are trying to sell your property. They've taken your listing, they've made you sign a contract, they've put it on their website, and now they're dealing with their exclusive clients. The clients that gave them a 100% commitment to pay them when they sell, that's the ones that I'm going to invest my money on. The exclusive listings are going to get my attention, and the non-exclusives are just filler for my webpage, and that's it. Okay, and the last thing, I think we're still kind of seeing it, out there on the classified websites like Compre o Alquiler and Encuentra 24. Buyers, especially buyers, well, not even, like all the buyers, they go out onto these classified websites and they see the same listing listed 3 or 4 times. They see it at 2 different prices. One's a real estate company, one's the owner. It just gets incredibly confusing for buyers. And what happens as a result, those buyers become very untrusting of the property itself. And it really does. It makes them want to offer a lower price. If it does in the end make them want to interest, or if they do ultimately have interest in that property, they're just untrusting. They're going to lowball the price, and it's just going to result in a lower selling price. Crystal, next page, please. So bottom line with your client, what does all this mean? It just means you're going to take longer to sell, and you're going to sell for less. The longer that property sits on the market, the longer it just flails in the wind, the more agents walk around it, the more people that have been sitting on the internet looking at real estate for 6 months just wonder what's wrong with that property, and you just get less viewings, you get less interest. Okay, next. Okay, so why should you list exclusively on the MLS? Number one, And this is the easiest sell of all, is that the MLS is just automatically pushing that listing onto other websites. It's not only pushing that listing onto classified websites all over the place, but it's actually pushing them onto, our competitors' web pages. So like Remax Grande and Remax Beaches and City, for example, if somebody somehow has a loyalty to one company, um, and they're only going to deal with that company because they know somebody at that company. My listing for, if somebody prefers to deal with Remax Grande and my listing shows up on your page, it's beneficial for me and it's beneficial for my seller. It's beneficial for everybody. That if Remax Grande doesn't have that listing that client is looking for, but I do, now Remax Grande has that listing. And sure, they have to share a commission, but that listing gets out there. And the more and more of these agencies that allow these listings to pop up on their websites from other companies, the better it is for everybody. I mean, it does come down to marketing, and that's one of the biggest things that we do. You want to get people to your web page, but the MLS seriously helps us do that. It just spiders that seller's listing to so many places. Another reason we want your seller to list exclusively, as I said before, is, and you want to keep kind of reinforcing this, is that we're accountable. In 6 months, if your property isn't selling, you have somebody to blame. As a seller, you have somebody to blame, you have somebody to sit down and meet with, and you have somebody to build a strategy with and to voice your concerns as a seller. And with 7, who do you blame? Like, who do you ask? Who's going to be honest with you? If I sit down with my one agent and as a seller, I'm a little bit disappointed that we haven't sold yet, I'm going to ask why, and I'm going to hope for a good, true answer. Again, I can care for the key, I can care for the property. I'm a professional marketer. I'm a professional salesperson. I'm a professional negotiator. One of the things that we see a lot in Panama is somebody that works over at Panafoto that's a real estate agent. And you like, I've had this happen. I want to show an apartment, and I call the real estate agent, and he's like, "Oh, I'm at work." It's like, what? Yeah, just go to the lobby, get the key. I'll meet you in the lobby, and I'll bring you the key. So I go to the lobby with clients, fully expecting to meet the guy. Oh, I couldn't get away from work. I'm not going to be able to make it. And how does that make you look? We are professionals. We are full-time real estate agents. We are full-time marketers. We train. We do everything that we do to be able to be successful real estate agents. This isn't a part-time gig. We're not hoping for, a $20,000 commission to supplement our multi-max income. We're here to do a job, and we're here to do it well. And we commit to our clients. We commit that to them, and it's a very important thing. So the MLS too, it gives each agent, hundreds of agents and resources to fall back on. We're a professional entity. We have the support, we have the connections, we have the lawyers, we have the bank connections, the lenders. So we're not just, we don't leave our clients hanging. Once we introduce a buyer to a seller, our job's not over. We stay with a seller from start to end, and we help them all the way to the close of the deal, and that has tremendous value as well. Next page, please. So all of this means you will sell quickly and for nearer your asking price. We have to make sure in saying nearer your asking price, I won't take an exclusive listing. I'll take a listing sometimes non-exclusively if I just make it clear to the client that, listen, I'll market it, kind of just by placing it on my web page, and it can sit there, but I'm telling you your price is too high, and I'm not going to take the listing exclusively. It's important to be honest with your clients, I think. It's important to be able to tell them the truth. And it's important that you know that by taking an exclusive listing that's not priced correctly, you're just wasting your time, most importantly, and the seller's time. Next page, please. Okay, so now you're going to sell yourself. I mean, the whole process is selling yourself, right? You want to make sure that you're making a connection with the client, that you're being honest with them. So you're going to sell yourself. You're a RE/MAX agent. We have all the support of RE/MAX. We have the training. We have the online training. You can go through that with them. You can show them. I mean, you can get as complex with them as you want. I don't think you have to get that complex, but you just have to make them understand. Most people will know the RE/MAX, and that's why we're branded RE/MAX, right? That's why we all got the franchise. So it's a pretty, I mean, you don't have to spend too much time on that. Most people will know that we're with RE/MAX. We have the global websites, the global connections, the 110,000 agents worldwide, and all of that stuff. But it doesn't hurt to just go through that. Again, you have to reiterate too that you're a full-time real estate person. You've got a proven track record. You've been selling real estate for 3 years. You don't make a living in real estate if you're not selling. That's just a fact. So you've got that's proof right there. It's proof right there that we sell real estate. We're successful. We're still going, and you don't have to list with 7 different agents to get your property sold. It's just the way it is. Next page. Okay. Also, I'm just going to go to the last point here. Again, to reiterate that people don't need to have 10 agents. I mean, why would you go out and why would you spend all that time, with 10 different companies when I have 4,000 contacts in my email database? Like, I think in reality right now I have something like 1,800 real Panamanian real estate agent emails. So why would you go and list with 10 when I can get all 1,800 of them? As soon as you give me your listing exclusively, I'm going to send an email to all 1,800, and I'm going to keep doing it weekly or monthly or whatever it takes until you get the place sold. So you're wasting your time. Pick the right agent, pick one, get your property on the MLS, and let's get it out to all the agents in the country. And when somebody's looking for your property, they'll find it. Okay, next page, please. Okay, so now this part. I mean, it's not terribly important, but I have like probably 50% of my contracts are at 7.5%, and I do this not for every property, but I do it when I feel like, like I need the help of when maybe it's not something that I think that I can sell easily, and I need the help of having that 5% extra commission or 2.5% extra commission to add to get other agencies interested in it. So basically, I present it to the seller like this. I just tell them, you are right. It's still kind of the Wild West here in Panama. It's still, a lot of the agents don't want to show a property that they're not going to get that they're only going to get 2.5% commission on. They'll almost always go and show the listings that they're going to get the full 5% on first. And you just never know if your property is going to make the cut in the end. So by paying an extra 2.5%, which isn't a lot, it allows me as a seller as a real estate agent to send out listing packages to the other agencies that I work well with. And I work well with all of them. I mean, I've never burned anybody and no one's burned me. And I work well with every company, and, I'm a straight shooter, and I'll, there's not a single agency in this country that's not going to call me or doesn't or holds some sort of grudge against me, and they're not going to show me they're not going to bring me a buyer just because they don't like me, right? So I can send out a listing package and promise that real estate company the full 5% commission. I can send that company the pictures. I can send that company a fully pre-prepared text for their websites, and it gives us an extra marketing source where, you know, I show up on websites that maybe don't subscribe to the MLS. I show up on Facebook pages. I show up places where, you know, I don't even know where I'm showing up because I just send out that easy to list listing package. So, you know, we don't like it. We don't like that there's agents out there that maybe aren't members of the MLS or maybe aren't 100% legit. But for me, I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that to do the to serve my client, and it's not up to me. I mean, to police this stuff. If I get a referral from somebody, which is basically what it is, you know, I'll take it. So that becomes a pretty easy selling point with the clients. Also, it becomes easier to involve, because right now what most people will do is that 40-20-40 split, and it usually never ends well. It usually never really goes anywhere, right? So if you can just let your client know that with the 7.5% now, you've got a way to pay 3 agents 7.5%. Yeah, let's go to the next page. So yeah, so in summary, with that 7.5% thing, it just takes the stress off of your selling client to have to go and contact 6 or 8 different companies and wondering what the heck is going on with each of them. Like, I'm telling you, it's a pretty easy sale by the time, if you can walk in there and you can joke with your client at first, and that client likes you and you're getting along with them, and then you can, you know, pick up your pen and say, and get serious with that client and sell your service to him or her. And it's just an easy close. Instead of hiring 6 or 7 different companies, just let me do the work. Let me do the work. Let me hold the key. Let me take care of every aspect from the start of the sale to the close. I'll stay on top of the lawyers. I'll stay on top of the banks. I'll do everything that we need to take this deal to the end. And all you have to do is nothing. All you have to do is sign this contract. You know, I have people ask me, what do I have to do? Sign the contract. That's it. Sign the contract. It's easy. People stress out about it, and there doesn't have to be any stress. Sound good? Oh yeah, I included this page. Thanks, Crystal. I know that Greta at the MLS, at the Aquabeer office, sends out that little graphic with the MLS computer screen in the middle, and then it shoots out lines lines out on the side to all the people, or all the places that the MLS listings go. But I couldn't find a recent one anywhere, and I don't know if they've made one lately or not, because I know Beaches and City is on there. I know Grande is on there. But anyway, this is a text list of all the sites that receive the MLS listings. So if anybody wants to make up a presentation for their clients, they can do that. Okay, that's it. I think that's all I have.
Well, great presentation, Eldon. Thank you very much for those great tips.
Thanks. Maybe I'll come see the Spanish one.
Well, thank you so much, Alan. Do you any of you guys have any questions, any comments? You are welcome to share.
So Eldon, I have a question for you. How easy is it for you to sell the idea of giving you a 7.5? I mean, you said you have 50% of the listings, of your listings listed with a 7.5% commission agreement. How many objections, or is it easy to sell that idea, or is mostly for foreigners, Americans, or like, give me your thoughts on that.
You know what, Mark? It's so easy that I have to be careful about which listings I do it with. Like, it's so easy to close that I won't even present it to everybody, because if I don't think that they have a real saleable property, I don't even want to go there. Like, I think you could probably close 95% of your clients if you chose to do so.
Wow, thank you for the input.
Like, we could, like, I don't know if it's a good idea for everybody, and I hate role playing, but if we want to do something, if we want to get together and do like a role play thing too, I would be open to that.
That sounds a great idea. So like that, I can hit you with different objections.
Yeah, like the most recent objection I had was just that the people didn't feel like they should have to do that. Like, it should be that, you know, it shouldn't be like that. And my immediate answer is that this is not the United States. Like, I mean, these people were Americans, but my immediate answer is that this is just not the United States. Like, it's not, things just aren't in one square box here. You've got to, everything that you do in Panama, you have to think a little bit outside the box, and you have to really work. Our job as real estate agents in Panama is not easy, and it's not guaranteed. And there's just so many real estate agents in Panama, and to be able to touch every one of them, you've got to just take advantage of every little opportunity that presents itself. And you know, 2.5% extra is not a lot to ask for actually selling your property. It's easy to tell somebody, it's easy to show somebody that, look at my website. I've got 350 listings. Look, I can take them an MLS listing report and show them days on market for all these listings. And, you know, you just start to build a little, you know, something like that, where you just show them the reality of the situation, and it is a reality.
Yeah, I see. And in your proven record, for example, out of these 4.5% commission listings, how fast do they sell? Can you tell the clients, like, listen, out of all my listings, the 7.5 listings are the ones that sell the fastest? Or, I mean, is it something you do?
Sorry, I'm losing you.
Okay, can you hear me? Eldon, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Eldon? Got lost.
Eldon, are you there?
Eldon, can you hear me?
I think his connection was pretty flaky in the beginning. Maybe got lost.
Okay, I'll ask him that question and I'll send it to everybody. I want to know if it's really faster to sell with a 7.5. I mean, it should be, but if he has it documented and he uses that documentation to show prospective sellers, how faster can it be with a 7.5 commission?
Yeah, sorry, I lost you there for a second, but yeah.
Oh, there you are.
I'd have to look back on what percentage that we're closing because of that. But here's the really cool part about it, is that I have a number of real estate companies that look forward to me sending them. You know, when I get a good listing and I go out and take some good pictures and I put together a really nice listing package that's easy for them to put on their website, they're excited. They want that 5% listing on their website. It adds content to their website, and it gives them more property, more selection within their own website. So and you know what, it does, you start to get more leads because of it from those companies. Like, it really, really, really makes a big difference. It really does.
So in your feeling, maybe you don't have it documented, but in your feeling, you sell these properties much faster than a regular 5% commission properties?
Um, yeah, probably. I really haven't kept track of it statistically, but I do know that I get leads on those 7.5% properties that I would never have gotten had I not done that.
Okay, so that's a good thing to tell the prospective sellers.
Yeah, and I think, what, like you were saying when I was back online here, in closing this whole exclusive thing and all of that, it's helpful to take the most recent the monthly or quarterly reports that Greta sends out from the MLS. It's helpful to print that off and take it with you and take a comparable, because you can do the comparables on the MLS system as well. And you can show days on market for sales of the same type property and stuff like that. So that's all really helpful to show them that we are professional and that we do know what's going on.
So you have these properties in the MLS system, and you put in the field where you say what percentage are you going to share with other brokers. You put 5% over there, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And in your marketing emails, for example, that you send to other companies, do you send them with I pay you a full 5% commission to the buyer's broker?
Yes, I'll send out emails like that. I do a number of things. Like, I have Gmail email lists where I have some agents that I'll email directly from Gmail. I have my contact account that I have just a brokers only list that I'll send out paying full 5%. I used to have, and I don't have this anymore because of my web page provider, but I used to have a full web page devoted to those listings. So basically on my website, I had a tab that said full commission for brokers, so that anyone who knows that I do this could just go to my website and say, which listings does Eldon have that are paying the full 5%, and they could just click on there really easy.
Wow, very good idea. Great. Wow.
Well, we only have about 3 minutes left. So I think it's time for, there's a question from Gabriela that it says that what percentage of properties do you list at 7.5 versus 5%?
I think Eldon said 50%. Half of his listings are almost at 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure that it's exactly 50%. It's not more than 50%. I know that, but like I said, you get kind of into a danger zone if it gets too, like, I mean, it's okay if you only have 10 exclusive listings, but when you start to get into 20 and 30 exclusive listings, it becomes, for me anyway, and maybe not for you, maybe you have more marketing support, but for me, because I'm just kind of like, we're so small at Beaches and City that we just don't have a full-time marketer and all that stuff. So we're doing our own marketing all the time. And to be able to give my selling clients a high enough level of service, I don't want to overpromise. So I don't want to take too many exclusives and not be able to do what I say I'm going to do for each client.
Understood. And there's a last question from Patty that says that if you add the extra 2.5% to the price listing to get the agreement faster. I mean, I think she's referring to if a seller objects, why give you 7.5 if you tell them, listen, let's raise the price 2.5%. Do you do that, or you don't really get that objection?
If I had a client that said to me, let's just add the extra 2.5 to the price, it would depend. Like, it would depend on how well priced, and that would be up to you. But I guess the first thing I would do is I would say something like, how about we split it? and I'll let's add 1% to the price, and the other 2.5 will come off the back end, something like that.
Sounds great.
Patty, a lot of the time, sometimes what I'll do is as well, if I'm feeling really kind of heart that day, is I'll tell the client, listen, if another agent brings me the buyer, we've got to pay him 5%. But if it's double-ended, like if I bring the buyer and there's no other real estate agent involved, I'll just commit to only taking 5%. I won't charge you the full 7.5%. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes I will do that just to overcome that objection.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Okay, so I think that's about all the time that we have, unfortunately. Thank you so much, Eldon, for your time. And thank you so much to everyone who listened. If you want, you can join us 11 a.m. to listen to Mark translating everything that Eldon just said.
So see you at 11 for the Spanish version. Thanks to Eldon Spears. Thank you, everybody, for coming for the third
Day-to-day session.
Thanks very much,
Guys,
Alan.
thanks for coming.
Good presentation. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.